Ooh, okay, so they really screwed up just before Pokemon GO Fest. So, in case you didn't know, there was a special secret event that happened in New York City literally just a couple of hours ago. And this was something that was specific for a handful of very big popular content creators as well as community ambassadors within New York City. And it was meant to be kind of like a surprise, secret, special event that was to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Pokemon Go. On paper, this all sounded pretty cool. I actually thought, wow, that's actually pretty neat. They did something really special, they did something that would draw a lot of hype, and it was something that was supposed to resemble the original trailer for Pokemon Go, where, I don't know if you remember it, but I guess it was kind of like a Unity raid, where they had a Mewtwo raid within Times Square, and then everyone held up their phones, and then yada yada. And they tried to recreate that at the location, in Times Square. But the problem is, it was actually met with a lot of controversy. It was actually something that the Pokemon GO community is now feeling really salty about, and it's because of what they did. For the very few people that attended, I think specifically with some of the content creators, they basically gave them a free Shundo Mewtwo with a special background. A background that was exclusive to this essentially 1 hour secret event. And that left a lot of players extremely upset. That left a lot of players feeling really salty, and I can understand that. Now, full transparency, I am a content creator for Pokemon Go, and I was not in attendance for this event. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even invited. My relationship with Niantic has been always very up and down. I have very good relationships with a very few number of people within Niantic. I think over the years, as they brought Pokemon GO Fest to here in Chicago, I was able to talk to certain developers and actually have a good connection with some of them. But in general, I feel like my relationship with the company overall has never been on good terms. And the reason for that is because in the beginning, I definitely made a lot of content that was very critical of Pokemon Go as well as Niantic as a company, and I'm pretty sure because of that, I've been blacklisted for the past several years. I'm okay with that. I'm going to create content for the game regardless of how the studio feels about me. But yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't attend this event because for a lot of the content creators that were there, specifically some of the big ones like Mystic7 as well as Trainer Tips, really good people by the way. I love Trainer Tips. He's someone who used to be from here in Chicago, really nice guy. Excellent person. Billy is great. But a lot of the negativity that he's receiving right now, I feel like that's not necessarily fully on him. It's really just because of what Niantic did with this event. Basically, without even the content creators knowing, they basically gave them free Shundos with this background. I felt like that was such an awful move. It was just such a short-sighted move, and I just don't understand that. I mean, this post on the Sylph Road Reddit kind of says it all. The Pokemon Go Times Square event was a massive slap in the face. Firstly, I want to say I'm very happy for all ambassadors that got invited and had the money to go to this, so they got the most limited edition Pokemon in the game. I mean, that's true. Congratulations to the content creators who have worked hard to make the Pogo community what it is. But I'm not going to lie that this also felt like the biggest slap in the face as someone who's played for 10 years. An event only available to content creators and the few who got invites and had the money to attend, instead of making this a global event that everyone in the world gets to participate in and gives everyone who's here right now get a background they can flex 1, 5, 10 years down the road to say, hey, I was here at 10 years ago. I was a part of this. Bring the entire world together for one event. Being live streamed from Times Square. They had a great opportunity, but it was instead an event kept the secret, available to virtually no one, an event unavailable to the people of New York, who could have celebrated their great city together in such a cool way, but no. As someone who has met some of the best friends because of Pokemon Go in general, let alone Pokemon Go itself, has been reconnected with old friends and spend so much time playing this game, this just feels like the biggest slap in the face. It feels insulting. Instead of celebrating this amazing moment, I'm just sitting here like, okay, like you couldn't have done a raffle for tickets, so anyone had the opportunity and it was luck. I'm not jealous, I'm just legit sad. Edit, for those who don't have reading comprehension skills, this isn't about the background, this isn't about the guaranteed hundo, this isn't even about another exclusive. It's about what this was, what it represents, and is for, and how it was done. There's a big difference between the tens of events that happen around the world every year in this game that you can't be a part of because it's too far, or you don't have the time or money, and this. The way this was done felt wrong. It's not about the thing. That's pretty much it. It's not about the event itself, it's just the way that it was handled. And I totally agree with this post. I'm not talking out of sour grapes. I honestly do not care about this because I already got my shiny with the Chicago background, which is the one I really wanted because Chicago is from where I'm at. So, of course, I wanted a background with Chicago. I would have cared a lot more about that than this New York City background. But aside from that, I just feel like for a lot of people who are watching the stream, for a lot of people who are watching the content creators, they probably were like, what the heck? Like, why do they get this very special, exclusive background shiny Mewtwo? And on top of that, it being a hundo. Like, why do they get that? Why do I not have access to that? I saw a lot of people talking like that, even within my local community. And I've heard a lot of players say this kind of sours the mood for Pokemon Go Fest this weekend. A lot of people feel like they're going into Pokemon Go Fest not necessarily hyped up, not necessarily excited, but now feeling a sense of like, I'm a pleb. I'm a lesser human in Niantic's eyes, and I don't get the good stuff. The people who get the good stuff are the content creators. They're the influencers. They're the community ambassadors. And I don't have access to all the good stuff. I've been hearing a lot of rumblings like that. I personally don't feel that way. I'm actually really excited for Pokemon Go Fest. Like I said, I already got the shiny that I want. I'm going to bottle cap it, and, I already feel fulfilled. But I'm sure a lot of players out there do not feel that way. I know a lot of people locally who do not feel that way. I think this was such a huge misstep. This was such a huge mistake. And I actually feel bad for the content creators who are getting a lot of flack right now. Like I said, Billy is a great guy. He's a very hard worker. Every time I've interacted with him, it's always been extremely positive. We've always talked about some of the nice things we could do for the community. We've always talked about some exciting things we could do as content creators to further Pokemon Go, and also just, he's a really great guy. Like, very passionate about the game, and he does a lot of work. And I just feel like he's getting a lot of hate right now because Niantic wanted to do something great for him. I don't know if this was even a Niantic thing. Maybe this was a Scopely thing. I mean, recently, we can't even say Niantic anymore, right? Because now it's Scopely Explore. I don't really feel like, I don't know. The name change just doesn't do anything for me. No matter what, it's still going to be Niantic. All the good things and the bad things behind the name Niantic, it's still tied to this game. And, yeah, this is definitely a negative one. I don't know if it was them. I don't know if it was Scopely. I don't know if it was like the higher ups at Scopely that planned this. But my god, this was such a bad idea. This was such a bad thing to do. Honestly, all they had to do was have this event without anything exclusive behind it. No special background, nothing like a free shundo, free hundo, whatever they did. Just have it be a raid, a Unity raid with a bunch of people in New York. Recreate that scene from the original trailer. Just do something really special. That would have been awesome. That would have been really hype. That would have been something that drew a lot of attention to Pokemon Go right before Pokemon Go Fest. A lot of people would have seen that in the news, or they would have seen that on Reddit, or Twitter, or Instagram, and they would have been like, oh, there's something with Pokemon Go going right now. There's a bunch of people I know who are like, oh, Mega Mewtwo is coming out. Maybe I should load up the game and play for this weekend. That would have been what it would have been. Like, that would have been the effect of it. But no, that's not the conversation. Now it just seems like, they're building a reputation that they're elitist, that they're only going to favor content creators, they're only going to favor influencers. Yeah, I can understand that sentiment after something like this. I mean, even myself as a content creator, I'm kind of glad I don't really have those close ties with Niantic. I mean, there are some times where I'm like, that would be nice if I did. It would be nice if I had some perks. Certainly over the years, I have received some perks, and I'm not necessarily going to be open about that, but I have had some conversations with people at Niantic where, yeah, it's certainly helped me. I'll fully say that. But this was not one of those cases, and I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. And I really hope they figure something out to make up for this. I don't know if it's a matter of they just give everyone a free Mewtwo, or I don't know, or they just... I really do not know what it could be. I imagine, like, one thing they could do is, like, give everyone a timed research that will give you a shiny Mewtwo, maybe? I don't know. It's just seems like it's just such a bad thing. And I feel really bad about all of this. I honestly, yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, literally Pokemon Go Fest is happening in a day. And now this is the conversation going into it. But hopefully things will kind of simmer down. I don't know if it will, but if you feel negative towards a content creator because of this event, I would say don't necessarily draw a lot of that anger towards the content creators. They're just kind of like caught in the crosshairs and all this. They were just told what to do. They were told to go here, fly, use their money to go to this event, and then just do something special. They were not known. They were not told they were be getting a shiny with a special background, and even a shundo rather. Like, they didn't know that. They just thought it would be something really cool. It'd be something really neat that they could be a part of. And now they're getting a lot of hate for it. They're getting a hit on their reputation because of this. And I just think that's very unfair. So if you feel that way, don't direct it towards the content creators. If you feel negative, direct it more towards Scopely. They're the ones that are kind of at fault for this misstep. And yeah, I don't think the content creators necessarily have any liability, I guess. But yeah, I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about this. I mean, yes, I am myself a content creator. I also have been making content for Pokemon Go for the past, I don't know, like 8 years, 9 years at this point. And of course, that means I'm essentially someone who does help Niantic. So, like I'm essentially making all these ads for the game with every single video. But even this video, it's just unfortunate that I wanted to talk about this. Because, we should be in the season of just being excited for Pokemon Go. And yeah, that's really it. Just wanted to create this little bit of a ramble. And yeah, hope you all have a good day. I'll catch you all later.